Okay, so we are jumping into part 5. Um, I'm gonna leave the links in the description for the previous videos. I gave one in the beginning, the first video, but again, trigger warning if some people have an issue with my view on things, or maybe if they don't agree with what I don't agree with. This is the whole purpose of this. We're just trying to learn, trying to bounce ideas off of each other, see um the different aspects of things. So without further ado, let's move this over here and let's jump into it.
You gotta blow out the candle to move to the next level. Okay.
And as long as we're talking,
Yeah.
what is with this one bed?
Don't kill that one for me, please. Don't
Just
you
talking-
like spooning?
Just talking theoretical, okay? Think of the romance of the king knocking on the door of the queen's bedroom.
I mean, I guess, but wouldn't the king just already want the queen in his bed? Also, on that note, I guess for married couples, 2 beds is probably pretty standard, right? Because when a woman is going through her period and such, in those 15 plus days of no touching, no intimacy, or no contact, obviously sleeping in the same bed would be a no-go, correct?
That's a little better than, are you in the mood? No, let me sleep. Oh, that's a killer.
Yeah, but then again, as I asked in a previous part, that leaves it all up to when the man feels like doing it, no?
Well, I think separation helps too. So like you have your 2 weeks. I'm here for a week making videos.
Yeah.
I go back home. It's fresh.
Yeah.
In theory.
In theory, yes.
In theory.
Yeah. But really, to put it very simply, if you're going to be intimate, can you show a little initiative? Like, get up from your bed. Like, don't just roll over.
Yeah, but what about sleeping next to your partner every night?
Too much.
Your wife. Really?
Too much familiarity. It grows ordinary.
You have separate rooms here with your wife?
No.
Separate beds.
Yeah. Okay, so that's what I meant. I don't think I said 2 rooms. I think I said 2 beds, correct? I mean, I get what he's saying, make the initiative, don't just roll over and stuff, but I guess that's only if you're thinking of like the aspect of you're both laying there and then he just rolls over and is like, let's get it on. You could both be entering the room at the same time and have the same idea of like, you're in the mood, this and that. You could do it that way.
But I'm just thinking, royalty used to have separate rooms. Hey, wow, that's awesome. Knock on the door.
Isn't there something intimate and nice about sleeping with your partner in bed under the same covers?
Not every night. It kills it.
Kills.
Too much of a good thing. I was traveling with my wife on the airline about 2 years ago. We get to the counter, to the gate, and I noticed they gave us both the same seat. Same seat.
Yeah.
So I walked over to the agent and I said, this is too much of a good thing. We don't want to share a seat. Give us separate seats. So, it becomes...
So routine is the killer, basically, is what you're saying.
Okay. Familiarity.
What's going on in the Hasidic community at the moment with marriages? Do you think the institution is getting stronger or it's weakening?
Ooh, that's a good question. I like that question by Peter. I've brought this up within the comment section, and I think maybe in one of the other videos. maybe actually one of these parts talking about the divorce rate and how it's lower and stuff like that. So it seems like maybe marriages are becoming stronger within the community. Um, yeah.
Like the rest of society, or hard to say.
There isn't enough education. There
Mm.
isn't enough talk.
Like what you're doing. So in your community, how many people do you see, say, within a year and have this conversation with?
It's not just the people I see. I'm publishing books.
Sure.
I'm doing talks about
Sure.
it, and it's not the most traditional thing to talk about it in public.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a crisis. You got to do it.
You're saving people's families, their livelihood,
Sometimes their lives.
their lives. Okay.
You get miserable. You get dangerous.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So the way we are raised, and it's not just for marriage or just for intimacy, the way we are raised is with the opinion that human beings are much more noble than we're given credit. For example, I would enjoy, and the average person, I enjoy making lunch for you a lot more than I make lunch for myself. For myself, it's drudgery. Gotta eat something, so whatever, leftovers. But if I'm making lunch for you, there's much more pleasure in that.
So this contradicts, I'm going to go out on a limb here. This contradicts.
Okay, I love it when I'm seeing his wheels turning, and he's starting to think of another angle to attack this from, because I feel like that's all I'm doing as well. Obviously, the purpose of this conversation is to see maybe if you can bounce ideas off of each other and see different views. But it's funny just seeing, and I know Peter's trying to also like maybe tiptoe a little bit around certain subjects just to make sure like everything's okay. But the rabbi seems pretty willing to talk about most of these things.
Somewhat the American system, which is built around the individual.
Yes, looking out for number one. Remember that book?
But why, if America was founded off these principles?
It wasn't. It's
Many
a recent development.
Why did people leave Europe? Because they didn't want people telling them what to do.
Because they wanted to practice their religion.
Sure.
Not indulge themselves.
And they wanted to realize who they could be in their lives. Whether that be a rabbi, whether that be whomever. Realize their full potential with less resistance.
Their full
I think that goes back to what I was saying. I'll go back just a little bit before he starts speaking. But I think that goes back a little bit to my previous comment about the free will. Like, people want to have control over their own choices, regardless of whatever they be. Like Peter said, become a rabbi, become a priest, leave the religion, follow the religion, have no religion. I think that is important. But yeah, I'm interested to hear what the rabbi has to say.
Realize their full potential with less resistance.
Their full potential meant being of service to God, to the community.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't mean be the best you can be.
Well, you can't unless you're serving people. Then you're really pretty much insignificant.
That's true.
But to get to that, you have to be somewhat selfish. Tonight, I got to work on videos, and nothing else matters in my life.
What you're doing is the ultimate selflessness.
Huh.
You're getting so much pleasure from doing something for others. Why is that selfish? It's not selfish.
Well, everyone wants to be admired. That's just a human condition, right?
Yes. We want the perks.
Right.
But the real pleasure comes from what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so to piggyback off that, it kind of coincides with a conversation I had in the comment section actually with somebody today. He was asking me kind of what my goal of this was. Is it, to become famous, to become well known, to become monetized, et cetera, et cetera. And, I said, to be honest, no, that wasn't the goal. My goal was just to kind of publish videos that I found interesting, I had an opinion on. I wanted to hear what other people had to say because I think that we're really, really lacking discussion these days. That's why I love this video so much, where you can see the different views and nobody's getting angry or shutting people out right away. And um he mentions again, like, oh well, your status that you're trying to make it on the internet. And I said, yes, in a sense. Obviously, I think anybody who's willing to put themselves online or upload anything online has that idea already kind of in their head that they're trying to make it somewhere. My goal, like, I didn't have a bar that I was trying to reach or anything in particular, but obviously I hoped some of my videos would kind of catch attention depending on what the topic may be. Some have done better than others, and but with specifically this, it's just so fascinating learning. I was learning so much through the music that was such, I guess, basic knowledge to the Jewish community that I had no idea of. And then through the music, it led me to the documentaries, which then explored it even deeper. And so, yes, as much as I am benefiting in a way from doing these videos, I feel like other people are also benefiting because they're getting to see this open dialogue, this willingness to think and communicate and listen to the other side, quote unquote. We're all on the same side, but you know what I mean. And just go from there. So I can see what he's saying.
It hurts when you don't get recognized for it, but you're not doing it to be recognized.
Yeah, and I think that's a good. I don't know. You've been doing this your whole life, right? Your whole adult life. So you've been recognized forever. At a smaller scale now that you're on the internet,
yeah,
a larger
yeah.
scale, right?
But I have an interesting phenomenon. When I'm in pain, I get a headache,
Uh-huh.
or I have a bad cold and I'm coughing, or I'm out of shape and I can't stand on my feet.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me there's somebody who wants me to talk for a group, all the pain goes away. Till after the speech, it comes back.
You get in that flow state.
Yeah, I was just going to say it's kind of a mental thing. Then you can bypass everything because you're thinking of what benefits you doing the speak or talking to those people will grant you. And it kind of washes away everything temporarily. And then once you're done that and you're done being of service, it'll come back.
Right. Okay.
So we are taught that study is extremely important. Why? Because then you can teach. Even studying is not for yourself. It's so that you can teach.
Do you mean by study just studying the book or studying your own life path? Like studying...
Everything.
Okay.
Knowledge, information, wisdom,
yeah.
Very important.
That's kind of what I've been repeating is I'd like to learn these things, right? I have some small knowledge on the Jewish community and their practices and the faith solely because I learned a little bit in world religion in high school. But that didn't even scratch the mere surface of what I've learned from you guys in the comments, the music videos, learning the meanings behind some of the music videos or the music itself. Take Tanya, for example. We all laughed about that. But now even just these documentaries getting a little bit more in depth. And I'm sure like this is also only scratching the surface as to what else you could get into. But I think that is very, very important, is to be open and want to continue learning. Even if I'm not going to be practicing this, even if I'm not going to be taking any of these and using in my day-to-day life, it's like knowledge is power, as they say, right?
Because then you can share it.
Wisdom comes from experience, wouldn't you say?
Okay. Comes with age.
So one thing you were saying earlier that I think I got off topic, we were talking about the planes going down. I don't think I resolved that. I think I got confused and switched topics, but I'm saying it's if I'm not selfish, right? Well, unpack that. What you were saying exactly. I'm trying to say that we're inherently selfish to some degree, and you're saying not.
No.
But,
It's the same as study so that you can teach.
uh-huh.
First, you get smart. But why? Not just for yourself, so that you can teach. Get your oxygen on so that you can be useful to others.
Mm.
Get yourself healthy so that you can turn your attention to others. Because when you're not healthy, you're obsessed with yourself.
So would you look at a guy like Steve Jobs or Sergey Brin of Google? Would you look at these people as? Would you idolize these people? Would you say that?
That's a very good question, because there are a lot of people that do idolize them because of, what they've created, in terms of the products, like the Apple products or the services like Google itself. However, I'm gonna guess his answer is no. Um, Specifically just because Peter said idolize, and I believe that's not within the teachings, right? To have idols.
That's a bad word to use.
Not idolize, yeah, bad word.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you give respect for what they've created and what they've done?
What they've done is fantastic. What kind of people they are, I don't know.
Okay.
I'll reserve judgment on that.
Maybe, once money gets involved, their ideals change, right?
That one. I think they started off very idealistic. Are they still? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I just hear it's interesting. We both use YouTube. Thank God for that platform.
Oh,
Huh?
yeah.
Changed my life.
Mm.
Probably changed yours.
And many others.
Yeah. So, okay, Rabbi, I'm going to wrap it up here.
Now, is that an issue that Peter said, thank God? I know the rabbi didn't use it, so maybe, that's the difference, but and I don't think Peter meant anything out of context with that, but just the fact that he said it, was that an issue?
If someone wants to, or is there anything else you'd specifically like to say that I didn't?
Ooh, I'm gonna guess we're probably gonna get into the gender stuff now, because in the beginning of the video there was a clip of him talking about how male and female, that's it. So I'm curious if this is when this is gonna pop up.
Ask or lead us into.
I think we touched on the subject, we haven't really developed it. Male and female psyches.
Mm.
The confusion about gender,
Mm-hmm.
it is not good. This is not going to promote healthy life. We have to be very in touch with our masculinity and femininity.
Mm-hmm.
And because we don't know what it is, we decided that it's
Fluid.
That it's what is the word? Flexible?
Fluid.
Fluid.
It's not fluid.
Would you say though that some people are born homosexual, right? They're like,
yeah, but that's sexual.
Okay.
And there are exceptions to every rule, of course. Mm-hmm. And here's one of the bad habits we've gotten into.
Okay.
You find an exception, you throw out the rule.
Right.
Yeah, I hear that a lot, where, especially in the trans world, people say, well, what is a woman? That's a documentary that Matt Walsh did. I haven't seen it yet, but I heard it's fantastic. But, he's going around asking simple questions, and people are like, well, a woman is somebody who's able to, bear children, has, their period. And then right away they say, well, what about women who are infertile? Or what about women who can't menstruate? And it's like, yeah, but now you're nitpicking the one exception or the few exceptions and throwing out the rest of the the ones that can. right? Regardless if they are infertile or not able to menstruate, they were born with the parts to do so versus a trans man or trans woman who had never had them. They just feel like a woman. At least that's how I see it. I'm not saying that, and again, I think I've said this before. If I had a friend who became a trans woman, I'm not gonna go out of my way to um, call her a him or say their original name, whatever the case may be. If they change their name, I'm gonna call them, by their preferred pronoun and be as polite because again, it's still my friend and that is not going to benefit me in any which way. Do I believe that they are now a woman? No.
Right, right,
That's not true.
right.
The rule stays. And, the exception proves the rule and all that stuff.
So you think there's a problem in society now where the gender roles have been diluted to some degree and it's creating problems in relationships?
Yeah. It's very unhealthy.
Yeah.
I don't know what exactly he's implying in terms of that. I do think I see a lot more fathers, especially in my age category, a lot more fathers taking on the role of caregiver, which I would assume back in the day, like my grandparents, I know my grandfather, he was there, but he wasn't really there. Like my grandmother did all the caregiving, kind of like what I've seen in most of these videos. But these days, and they even mentioned it in the Shabbat video where they were like, oh, and he's changed diapers. Like, I don't know how many diapers I've changed at this point. It's too many to count. And I don't have a problem with that, but I don't think that that's me becoming more feminine or like the gender role switching. I just think that it's nice to help out when help is needed.
So basically, what I'm saying is we are taught a much more respectful, dignified, noble opinion of the human being.
Mm-hmm.
To tear it down is not good. People are not so selfish. People are not stupid. People are not evil. Stop it.
Yeah.
Of course, there's an exception to the rule.
Yeah.
But don't make it the rule.
Mm-hmm.
Morality is again a subject that has been neglected. We're not taught morality. There's no such subject. Who teaches morality? Nobody. It's not good.
Your parents.
We're taught equality as if that's morality.
I wouldn't say they're equivocal, but I do think that equality is something important to teach because, as I said, even though I'm not practicing, I'm not practicing any faith and you have your own faith, I'm not going to think that I'm higher up than you or think that you're lesser than me or vice versa just because you believe in something that I don't believe in something. I think we're all people, we're all humans, we're all equal in that aspect. But yeah, I wouldn't say that's morality.
It's not. It's a poor substitute. Because underlying that, we're all the same. We're all the same. So, don't hate each other. We're all the same. Underlying that message is a very clear belief. If you think you're better than me, you're going to kill me. If I think I'm better than you, I'm going to abuse you. Morality means the big guy can't beat up the little guy. That's what morality means. The rich may not take advantage of the poor.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, as long as they're going to be rich people, they're going to take advantage. Yeah, if you don't teach them morality.
So moral, it has to come from the parents, right?
It has to come from the Bible.
Ah.
There's no morality without a Bible.
But what if, okay, in modern day society, despite, let's say, the changes taking place, we live by Judeo-Christian principles. I read the Bible a while ago, probably got halfway through. It's a very confusing text, full of lovely lessons, and I got to go back to it.
And they contradict each other, and they make you crazy.
Right. But I believe I have morality, but I'm not religious. But you're saying the only way to do it is through religion.
We have morality because of religion.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, sure.
It's like talking to this arrogant student, and he says, I don't need God to tell me what is right and wrong.
Yeah.
I said, oh, okay. Tell me, what do you think is wrong? He says, murder. I said, did you just make that up?
Yeah.
Did you discover that on your own, or has that been around like for 3,000 years?
Right.
So we don't have to identify the source.
I mean, some might boil that down to like common sense. But I see what he's saying. Like, obviously that was in the text, like, so I can see where he's going with that, yeah.
But had there not been the Ten Commandments, I don't know what we would be thinking. Even the atheist.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's not so smart to take the Ten Commandments and erase the author's name. Say, oh, I thought of that.
Right.
Yeah, now.
Right. Okay, Rabbi. Well, thank you. I want to, you're well known in the community, people know you, but are you looking for any more couples to come in or not really?
Not really, but the message.
The message,
get the message out for sure.
Okay, so where would people find you online? On YouTube or?
It's goodtoknow.org.
It's goodtoknow.org.
Goodtoknow.org.
Good to know.
And more of your messages there.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And they can order the book.
Order the
Do you have a copy of the book?
I was looking.
Joy of Intimacy. Amazon?
Mm-hmm.
Or your website?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Amazon's good.
Okay, fantastic. Rabbi, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for your time.
My pleasure.
And I got something out of this, so thank you.
Yeah, so did I. We got a little bit more here.
A very selfless activity.
I don't know. I'll think about that.
And if you get paid for it, it's even better.
Yeah. True.
The best of both worlds.
Right. Okay.
I think that's what Peter's maybe battling with is the rabbi saying it's a selfless thing, but he's thinking maybe it is a little bit more selfish because he has to focus on getting this video done, then editing it, then putting it out so that other people can then see it. And hopefully through that, he can get money via the video's views. And maybe that's the racket that Peter's kind of going through.
Thank you.
I often think, why am I charging for this? It's not right. It's a public service. Why am I charging for this?
We need lights.
When
intimacy
I found a good
around.
excuse. It's okay. I justified it.
All right. Thank you.
Alrighty. Ooh, we're gonna have to watch this one with the Hasidic woman. All right, so that concludes the final part of this big episode. Definitely dropping a like on that one. Thanks to the rabbi and for Peter for doing that. Probably for Shlomi for setting that up. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comment section below. Please let me know what you agreed on, you disagreed on, if you have the same view, if you don't. Hit the subscribe button if you're enjoying the content, and ring the bell notification so you're always up to date when a video does come up. We'll probably do the Hasidic woman, like I said, next, with a sprinkle of music as well. I got quite a few requests from the last few posts. So we'll definitely take a look at that, and yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next episode. Thanks.